Chief Willie Obiano has always stood out in the crowd, either as a corporate titan in the banking boardroom or as a man of the people in the State House in Awka, Anambra State. His huge imprints in the sands of time are indisputable. 60 years ago, Willie Obiano was born to the family of Philip Honora Obiano in Aguleri, Anambra State. Young Willie showed great promise in his early education. At Christ the King's College, Onitsha, his brilliant entry won the John Fitzgerald Kennedy Prize for essay writing in 1974. A year later, he was admitted to the University of Lagos, where he studied accountancy. In 1979, he graduated with a BSc second-class upper division and returned more than a decade later for an MBA in marketing. Between 1991 and 2002, he worked with Fidelity Bank. Chief Obiano headed many key groups and divisions in the bank, including corporate banking, non-bank financial institutions, the treasury, foreign operations, oil and gas financing, telecommunications, aviation, and several other businesses where he showed tremendous leadership skills and a rare people's touch. At the peak of his career, he was appointed as the executive director, business banking, and the second most senior banker in the bank's management hierarchy. Chief Obiano left Fidelity Bank on a high. He was a favorite of the staff, the management, and the board. At the bank's annual dinners, Akpoko Edike Aguleri, as he was fondly called by his friends and colleagues, always stood out. His fashion style and his unique haircut often headlined the occasions. Chief Obiano knew banking well enough to know that a banker's reputation is like a house of straws. One bad move and all the years of struggle would go up in a plume of smoke. The end of his banking career heralded the start of something huge. Willie was about to be thrust into the national space.
That I will be faithful and pay allegiance
to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
To the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
On March 17, 2014, Chief Obiano was sworn in as the 5th democratically elected governor of Anambra State. His pragmatic approach to governance is tied to an economic blueprint.
In my blueprint, I made, the welfare of the citizens a very important part of my program, and the bulk of the people are the civil servants that are directly under me, and because I'm paying them, they are stimulating activities in the economy, because if you are not paid, you cannot go to the market, and if you don't go to the market, the guys in the market will not be able to sell. So that economic activities that are being generated were purely because you are paying salaries as and when due. We're paying salaries, pensions, and gratuities, and I'm quite happy. We're not one of the people that took a bailout fund, but significantly, it did help our inner activities, self-made programs, helped us immensely in that area.
4 pillars of development. In nearly 2 years, Chief Obiano has emerged as an astute administrator. Under his watch, the Federation Accounts Subcommittee on International Public Sector Accounting System ranked Anambra State as the highest in transparency. At the end of the Civil War, Upper Iweka in Anambra became synonymous with violent crimes. Carjacking, muggings, kidnappings, and armed attacks were frequent. But within 3 months of the Obiano administration, Upper Iweka was transformed into a garden of peace. Recently, he hosted a regional security conference which included the governors of Enugu, Abia, Delta, and Ebonyi states. Former President Goodluck Jonathan and incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari have publicly commended the Obiano administration for its security credentials.
So we spent money to bring up their 7 base stations, and initially we bought them 175 vehicles. The difference between the vehicle I bought and the ones they were given before is that we kitted it. We put communication equipment in each of those vehicles so that they can talk to themselves, So having done that, we got the joint team to work that we called Operation Pochapo, consisting of the Army, the Navy, because we have a naval base in Obaru here, the police, the civil defense, of course, NDLEA and SSS, you know.
A safer state has also meant a boost in business activities and increased investors' confidence. Halfway through his first term, and over $4.2 billion in investment tells a remarkable story. Agriculture has attracted the lion's share with a little over $700 million, creating several jobs for residents of the state.
We are winning in agriculture because of our organization. You know, we organize them in cooperatives, then we got the commercial side of them. You know, we attracted Cossack farms. If you go there, you think you're in Singapore. You know, he's had on that plantation about 1,000 hectares of land, you know, and he's done through harvesting. As a matter of fact, his farm alone produces about 60% of the Anambra rice, you know, and it's very mechanized. You know, we have the linden farms in Ibaria. You know, those guys do day-old chicks, you know, and in 2-3 months, they'll become the largest producers of day-old chicks in the southeast. Then we have Excel farms. They are into tomato and cassava. They are in Omo. They are setting up and what have you.
Together with security, improved infrastructure has contributed to the economic success story. The 3 ultra-modern flyovers built in 2 years have enhanced the landscape of Awka. Over 100 roads have been rehabilitated, and at least 30 new roads have linked up several communities, opening up access to agriculture, industrial and commercial areas. Notably, a bridge across Obambala River that links to the oil fields of Aguleri, and then another bridge which links up several Anam communities across the river. There is also steady progress on the trunk roads leading to the proposed Umeri International Cargo Airport, the 3 arms zone and the 3 shopping malls in Onitsha, Inewi and Awka. 3 major cities have been identified in a modern mass transit scheme, together with the rollout of 200 taxis and 40 buses. The transport plan has also been expanded to marine transport with the provision of speedboats, water ambulances and a gunboat for the Nigerian Navy. The Obiano administration has also sustained the excellent educational standards of Anambra State. It has remained the #1 state in NECO and WAEC successes. Over 1,000 units of 10 classroom blocks have been renovated across 21 local government areas, while the governor has disbursed the sum of 733 million naira to mission schools. In April last year, 23 teachers from Anambra State received technical and vocational educational training in Singapore. The administration also offers free education to physically challenged students and has awarded scholarships estimated at 30 million naira to over 200 students at different levels of education.
In my blueprint, I said 3 things I must do to be a successful fellow in education. The first is infrastructure. Infrastructure, by my definition, includes the teaching aids. It's not only the building. Teaching aids, that's infrastructure. We renovated 1,720 primary and secondary schools within this short time I've stayed in office, 2 years and 11 months, you know. So we built up the infrastructure. Then the second is welfare of students. Welfare of students is very important because if you're not comfortable, you won't be able to study. You know, the final and the most and very important is training and retraining of teachers and taking care of their welfare. Very important. You know, and we did exactly that. You know, we sent 32 teachers to Singapore for various train the trainer program that they ran in Singapore.
In healthcare, the Onitsha General Hospital has been expanded and a helipad built for air ambulances. The hospitals at Umunze and Atani have also been upgraded. The government has also partnered with the Rise Health Incorporation of America to strengthen rural healthcare in the state. The partnership has had a huge impact. For example, the refurbishing of the Urumba General Hospital and an ultra-modern Rise clinic in Adaziani and Onitsha. Then there is the environment, where stubborn gully erosion has led to a loss of farmlands, homes, and the displacement of hundreds of people. The Obiano administration has embarked on the recovery of an erosion site in Abagana and a tree planting campaign in Urumba. A number of rural water schemes have been powered with solar energy to ensure the uninterrupted supply of water to the rural areas. The rural areas have also received attention in an electrification plan where expansion has meant electricity for Anambra North. Also, 250 new transformers have been installed across Anambra State. There's also a project to link up communities in Anambra North from the power substation in Agwoka. The administration of Governor Obiano believes that this will provide electricity to a number of communities in northern Anambra that have been without electricity. Governor Obiano is the only governor in Nigeria who increased the salaries of workers in his state in 2015 by 15%, at a time when the country's economy was hit by recession and reduced revenue for crude oil exports. Just 1 year into his tenure, he had cleared 1.9 billion naira salary arrears owed the State Water Corporation and approximately 1 billion naira pension to retired employees of the local government areas. Only recently, Governor Obiano granted amnesty to 25 prisoners serving different jail terms in Anambra State and handed over to them checks of ₦1 million each for their rehabilitation. Governor Willie Obiano is the recipient of several awards in recognition of his giant strides. In 2013, he was awarded the President's Volunteer Service Award by former U.S. President Barack Obama. An excerpt of the congratulatory note read, "Thank you for helping to address the most pressing needs in your community." A year later, the Houston-based USA Africa magazine named him Governor of the Year. In 2015, the Association of Primary School Head Teachers of Nigeria named him the Best Primary Education-Friendly Governor of the Year. Chief Willie Obiano is married to Chief Mrs. Ebelechukwu Obiano, and they are blessed with 2 children.